Today on the channel, in this third annual Christmas special, I've got the awesome Rashad G Reviews joining me to talk about Santa with Muscles, a 1996 movie directed by John Murlowski, who's never had a single hit ever. But that is not the reason to continue watching. The reason to continue watching is because you're in for a hell of a ride, so strap in and let's get to it. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you for taking your own time out to check out this review where I'm honestly incredibly excited to bring you this review. So I got done watching, as of today's date when I'm recording this movie review, which is the 13th of December, I finished watching Santa with Muscles on Amazon Prime, at least in the UK, I'm not sure about America. For my Christmas special, I didn't want to just kind of bring you guys good movie reviews. You know me, I love a good, terrible movie, and that is exactly what this is. Now, John Murlowski is pretty much gone on to do directed TV movies. No memorable movies in his filmography at all. If I'm wrong, leave a comment down below and let me know. Now, one of the most interesting things about this movie, before we get into the cast, is one of the executive producers. Now, you might think, Mike, well, why is this actually interesting? Well, I'll tell you why. Because one of the executive producers is Jordan Belfort. Now, you might be thinking, well, okay, well, who's Jordan Belfort? Let me put it this way. Leonardo DiCaprio played this guy in the Wolf of Wall Street movie. Yes, that Jordan Belfort is executive producer of Santa with Muscles. So straight away you kind of think, well, this project is doomed. Yeah, it might have some budget behind it because obviously he had money, so he may have kind of produced into this. Movie stars Hulk Hogan. Now, if anyone knows me, I'm a huge wrestling fan. If anyone knows my guest Rashad, he's also a huge wrestling fan. Yeah, Hulk Hogan's in this movie, and I really wish he wasn't. We've also got an appearance of Brutus the Barber Beefcake, if you guys also know him from the WWF kind of days. Now, what is also interesting here is we've got two acting debuts from Mila Kunis. Out of all people, Mila Kunis is in this, and Brenda Song. Two ladies that went on to have more of a successful movie career. And I'm glad that this movie didn't kill it, let me put it that way. We've also got Don Stark, who is in That 70s Show, who is fantastic in that show. So with all this cast, you might be thinking, well, what the hell went wrong? From 1 second in, that's where this movie went wrong. Seriously, this is one of the worst movies I have ever seen in a Christmas special, in life, in general. This really wanted to make me check out some movie that I absolutely detest. I wanted to watch this movie rather than Santa with Muscles. So, okay, you might think, Mike, you're being a bit too harsh. Have you got any positives here? Okay, maybe one positive I've got in this entire nearly hour and a half movie. And I'm going to say that towards maybe the first 10-15 minutes, the movie is really goofy. So we get to the point where the plot of this entire movie essentially is Hulk Hogan plays a character called Blake Thorn. And Blake Thorn is like an evil multi-millionaire. And he's kind of playing like childish games and going on like a 7-year-old kid pretty much. One day he accidentally does something where he kind of triggers the police. The police are chasing him in the vehicle, but they don't get a look at his face. And he kind of gets into a shopping mall undercover and goes undercover as Santa Claus. So in the meantime, he's then being Santa Claus, but he forgets that he's Blake Thorn because he accidentally takes a knock to the head. And the fiendish elf, who's played by Don Stark, convinces him he's Santa Claus. That is the plot of this movie, and yet there is more into it and about an evil scientist, which we'll get to, don't you worry. Yeah, so around 10-15 minutes into this movie, we get Hulk Hogan, Blake Thorn, as Santa Claus. And, you know, he's got these moments where he's like got a kid sat on his knees. He's like, what do you want for Christmas? In a very soft-spoken voice, which is not Hulk Hogan. And it actually sounds like someone's kind of like dubbing voiceover over his voice. It sounds pathetic, guys. Let me just put it kind of like that. And there's one scene where there's like, he's got two siblings on his knees and they're kind of fighting. So he actually lifts one of the siblings up when they're taking a photo after each visit with Santa Claus. Now, if the movie embraced that more and actually kind of focused more on that and this kind of sweet underlying story, which I think they tried to go for about an adoption, I think this could have generally been a great movie. But unfortunately, all I'm going to say is if you're born in the year 1996, I feel sorry for you that you got this Christmas movie. Yeah, that's my literally one positive of this movie. Now, I've got a bunch of negatives which I'm going to dive into, but before I get to that, I'm going to hand it over to the absolute living legend, Rashad G Reviews, and I can't wait to hear his thoughts on Santa with Muscles. So take it away.
Here we go again. Mike, I forgot the last time I was on your channel, but I think the last movie that you had me watch, I did somewhat enjoy it. And I can't say the same for this one. And the name says it all. Santa with Muscles. And it's kind of funny because it's called Santa with Muscles. And when you watch this, you can clearly see that Hulk Hogan is off his steroid cycle. Think about it a little. Look at him in Rocky 3. Look at him in No Holds Barred. And look at him in this one. The long hair is gone. The bald spot's covered. He's even trimmed. He doesn't have the pork chop mustache. And he's about 30 pounds smaller. But he's still got the pythons. Okay, when he's got on the Santa Claus vest, you know, he's still got the guns. All right, the guns is the last thing to go. You know, no matter how fat I get, the guns are still there. Hulk Hogan, you know, it's just funny. You know what, Mike? It's funny how wrestlers are just so larger than life and charismatic when they're wrestling, when they're doing their thing in WWF, right? But why doesn't that same charisma translate well to the screen? You know, you've had wrestlers that tried acting before, like Roddy Piper tried to act. You know, Batista, not bad. The Rock is the exception. Even John Cena, John Cena is decent, but Hulk Hogan has got to be the worst wrestler turned actor that I have ever seen. Now, with a movie called Santa with Muscles, I expect this to be real goofy and off the wall and real zany and just, you know, have fun, right? And the movie kind of tries to do that, but then Hulk Hogan opens his mouth. So he's got this ridiculous suit. He's got the muscles. Okay, so Santa with Muscles. Okay, I get it. Go. And then he opens his mouth and speaks. Well, children, I guess it's time to go now. Hey, would you like to try my new protein? It's full of nutrients and vitamins that will help you get through the day. I spent more time cringing. I spent more time embarrassed and kind of like doing one of these numbers right here than laughing. Now, a couple of times I did laugh. There are some chuckles in this movie, some laughs, and not because of what the screenwriter wrote or how the director made it, but because of how stupid this shit is, how absurd it is. Whoever wrote this shit had a mountain full of fucking Scarface cocaine, head first. All right, Santa with Muscles. You know, just another. This is directed towards kids, but I think even my 7-year-old son will look at this and be like, "This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen." Hulk Hogan's got the personality of a wet mop. His line delivery is just trash. I can tell he's trying to get a paycheck here. He's not even trying. The director's not even trying. The director doesn't even have the balls to say, hey, Hulk, you want to run that again? That line was not too good. The director said, fuck it, you know, this movie's probably buying me a yacht or a house or something. Yeah, Mike, I did not like this at all, with the exception of a few scenes that made me laugh. This movie is terrible. It's like, come on. Santa with Muscles. You only see it one time where he shows a feat of strength, and that's when he pulls a truck with a chain, right? So think about this. He has the strength to pull a truck with a chain with his bare hands, right? So obviously he's super strong. And then comes the climax, spoiling, I don't give a damn. He fights the main bad guy at the end of the movie, who's just a bad scientist, okay? He doesn't have any super strength, no physical attributes, nothing. He's just a regular guy. They have a fight, and this guy hangs with Hulk Hogan. Not only does he hang with him, but he gets a couple of sweet punches in there and makes the fight competitive. How the hell do you go from pulling a truck with a fucking chain to now you're having problems fighting a pipsqueak? Riddle me that, Batman. And there's even a scene where they're in a church, right? They're in a church, and one of the elf guys, he's like on top of the and he's about to slide down on a rope, right? So you see him get on top of the rope, and then as he slides down, you see the harness that's holding him as he's sliding down. Then it cuts to him getting down there. No harness, nothing, just like he just lets go of the rope with his hands. All right, where am I at? Bad movie, stupid movie. Hulk Hogan should be ashamed of himself. This performance makes No Holds Barred looks like fucking Robert De Niro Raging Bull, okay?
You see, kids? It pays to be nice. Anybody want to help Santa clean up?
What's that smell?
And that's a terrible movie too if you haven't seen No Holds Barred. That's it, and that's all. My pressure to get up because I had no expectations here, but Santa with muscles should be called Santa with shit because that's what this movie is. Shit. Done.
I knew when I picked out this movie, I had to have a collaboration. I couldn't just cover this one myself, and I absolutely loved hearing Rashad's thought. And one funny thing actually is, when I've looked over on my channel and all the collaborations I've had Rashad a part of, he's had more kind of good collaborations than worse ones, but I picked an absolute stinker for him for here. Yeah, he didn't have fun with this movie whatsoever. I'm a bit surprised that his blood pressure didn't kind of hit the roof. So go give Rashad some love and go subscribe to his channel. The link is down below in the description box. Awesome guy, awesome YouTuber. Got some amazing content over on his channel, and go give him some love. So big thanks to Rashad for joining me. Yeah, this movie is absolutely horrendous, guys. As Rashad says, there's one point where Santa's pulling a truck by a chain, and I'm like, it's the most randomest scene ever, but it happens, and I'm like, what? Can someone like explain this? I know he's on like protein powder and creatine and all that, but surely he can't pull a truck, and especially when the truck is like going so fast. Now don't get me wrong, kind of like World's Strongest Men and like kind of those people and bodybuilders, you know, they can lift a car. Yeah, when it's still, but when the cars must be going at least 30 miles an hour, if not more, he has a chain where he stops it as like an emergency brake. And I'm like, yeah, no, that would not happen ever. Also, the rest of the cast here, we've got Garrett Morris, who plays Clayton, Robin Curtis, who plays Leslie, and they're trying to do serious roles here. I feel sorry for them because they have gone on to do better things, but they are absolutely wasted in this movie. I really don't know what this movie was trying to do, because it's that bad, guys, and I'm telling you this now, it's that bad, this movie, that the original author who kind of wrote this movie sued to get his name removed from the movie. So I think that just clearly goes to show immediately how bad this is. There's points here where it's just dumb. So for example, when Santa's trying to escape at the beginning of this movie, and he's going into like this hallway in the back of like a shopping mall, he's literally like hanging on to this ledge. And now if he falls down this ledge, it's kind of like a trash chute, right? So you literally see his hands, like his gloves, hanging onto there. So you think, right, okay, maybe they can't see that. However, say if this is the trap chute door right here, one of the officers is actually holding on to the actual trap chute door, and the ledge is like right here. And the whole time, he's looking like this. And I'm like, literally, even if you're looking like that and you're looking like this, your eyesight can kind of see right there. So he's going to see his hands immediately and then look over and be like, hey, you're the guy that we're after. He's somehow oblivious. He doesn't see it. I'm like, what? I'm like, how does that even happen? Seriously. How does that happen? As Rashad said, there was a moment of a harness as it looked like it disappeared, and I'm like, oh man. But then what even made me laugh even more is the fact that maybe about 30-40 minutes into this movie, right at the beginning of this movie, this opens up with Hulk Hogan, Blake Thorn at his mansion, taking on all these different people who are like trained to be kind of like ninja and nunchucks and gardening tools, very sharp gardening tools, and they're all trying to stop the Hulkster. And he is pretty much knocking them all out. He stops them with the weapons straight away. But then, around 40 minutes time, we get like a weak scientist. Not even the main guy who's the scientist here, who plays Mr. Frost. Just one of his kind of cronies, who hits him like twice with a nunchuck, and then Hogan comes out with some like really funny puns, and I was like, man, I wish the movie had more of these puns, but how the hell does this one weak scientist guy stop all the people who works at his mansion who are trained to try hit him as much as they can? I'm like, this movie, honestly guys, makes absolutely zero sense, and I could go on and on all day about how bad this movie is. If you really want to watch it and put it through yourself, say in the UK right now, it's on Amazon Prime. I'll pray for you if you decide to, but I definitely don't recommend it. So my overall score for Santa with Muscles is a 0.5 star out of 5. Have you been unfortunate enough to see this movie? Are you going to be unfortunate enough to actually check out this movie? I'll leave any and all comments down below so we can continue the discussion down there. If you're brand new to the channel, please press the red subscribe button down below so I can see you again on a future video. But also, if you're brand new or returning, hit the thumbs up button and give the video a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed the content. And again, the link to my guest channel, Rashad G Reviews, is down below in the description box. Go give him some love and let him know that I sent you. And also, are you aware that I have a Patreon? Yeah, over on my Patreon, I have a couple of tiers you can select from, which starts from £2 per month. And these tiers do include like early videos, my release schedules, say what goes onto the channel. You can actually pick out movies for me to review. There's so much stuff to find out about my Patreon. The link is down below in the description box if you want to check out more. And I want to give a big special thank you to all my awesome Patreons who help support the channel. But until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.